Brian, tough 0-0 result. It seemed as though the Sounders had a few opportunities to capitalize and left those again unfinished. What did you see, though, from a positive standpoint as to what you can take down to Mexico City and get a result down there?
Well, that was a hard game. I thought it was two good teams going at it. Although, I think we generated a few more real chances. I mean, obviously, you got the obvious ones where, probably the stadium would have erupted if knew who gets that header on frame and, instead of the crossbar. I think everybody would have gone bananas, myself included. Jordan hitting the post. We were just in there with our video guys, and they have the ability to draw lines on film and everything, and it's questionable if Paul was offside. It's very questionable. I mean, Paul's little, short, compact. The guy's stretching his arms like starting to run this way. I'm not so sure that CONCACAF has all the cameras that needed to be there in that moment. But some half chances here and there. Jordan's header in the first half. Jordan's breakaway in the first half. Second half, Albert almost caught Alex because that was one of the plays. That was one of the designs. The, in-swing balls to Alex coming in from a deeper position. I mean, if he touches the ball, it goes in. But it shoulda, coulda, woulda. So the positives are we got a clean sheet today. That's number one. Against a good team. We will be under it down there for sure. So if we can keep the clean sheet down there, that'll be good. Positives are Christian got 350 games under his belt. Now that's a milestone. The positives are, we've got a 13-game unbeaten streak. And sometimes I'm kind of, funny about that one. 13 games unbeaten was similar to 2021 when we started out the season, and that's an MLS record. 6 wins, 7 draws, no losses in CONCACAF. I mean, that's saying something about the consistency of our franchise in this tournament. But at the end of the day, we came up short, and the inconsistencies of some of the refereeing and the 3 minutes of added time. Maybe we just were short in all phases of the game tonight.
Jada?
Thank you. How much does any of that kind of factor in them not having all of their, top players, especially their strikers? So how does that kind of maybe change what your outlook is?
It doesn't change anything. The guy that played up front certainly has a lot of experience. If you go down their list, which I did, there were a lot of guys on that team that had good experience, 25, 27, 30, 31. That's a good team. And they have depth. So it's not going to change any messaging, Jada. They can play their starters down there, but we will come out and give it a good effort, and we'll see if we can't sneak a goal because we were this close tonight.
And can you talk a little bit about the facility? I mean, that's a place that you've played well. Can you talk a little bit about playing at that Pumas'
Well,
place?
we were 2-2 down there last time we played there. So 2-2 would be a good result for us. We will, try and obviously defend and, weather some storms. But, I think the way the team can be set up, I think Jordan was close. I think their goalkeeper, plays, off his line and, stuff like that. We might catch one.
All right, we'll come down here to Nico Moreno and then back to Jeremiah.
Coach, considering what you said that the team did play well, does it still feel like maybe a missed opportunity because of the number of guys that maybe weren't here today? And what's the messaging to this group after this result to get them motivated for the weekend and then, of course, the next game at Ciudad de
I don't need to say much, Nico, to that group to be motivated. And again, I'll reiterate, that's a good team, regardless of them missing players. The players they put on the field were good. And so we will not need to do any extra messaging. We'll just go down there and play as hard as we can. We have a game against LAFC where we'll take a tally tomorrow at our regen and figure out who we're going to put out there, and then we'll go from there.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, Pedro was the first player off, came in for Jesus. How would you assess both of their contributions in this game?
Good, very good. It's the luxury of having a deep squad. I can make those decisions, and we can pick apart why I made those decisions, but somebody has to start again on Saturday. And, it's healthy and okay for guys to make sacrifices. Yeah, Pedro wanted to play more, but, he's going to play. So, he's got to understand that.
All right, we'll go back corner here and then make our way down to Diego.
Hi, Coach. Amador Abreu from Sounderscast. Coach, the team seemed to be a bit tentative in the first half, but really turned things around in the second half. Can you walk us through what happened in the locker room, the discussion that you had with them, and what motivated them?
Well, I can't tell you everything that we talked about at halftime, but certainly it's an engaging conversation. That's a good group. They can take a little bit of constructive criticism. They can take praise. They're a veteran team. So we just tried to pick apart what, Freddie Juarez sits up top for us, and he has the view from up here. We get the feeling maybe down on the field, the bench, of what we could do, but he sits up there, gives us some ideas, and I think, at the start of the second half, we came out with good energy. I think we were able to extend our possessions because in the first half we gave the ball away or we were too rushed in our attacking movements, and I think we made those corrections.
All right, down to Diego, please.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. El equipo mejoró mucho en todas sus líneas en relación al partido con Real Salt Lake. Considerando que en el partido en México Cruz Azul va a contar con casi todos sus titulares, ¿qué modificaciones piensa hacer en el equipo?
There was a clear improvement on the performance of the team today versus the game on Salt Lake City. But considering that when you go back and play in Mexico, Cruz Azul will have all their starters available for them, what are the modifications that you're planning to take into the team to address that?
Well, there's no modifications, again, based on who they did play or didn't play. They're still going to play with the back line of five. They're still going to have certain movements that they try to do. So, again, we are going to go and try and go down there and score a goal. And that would give us, an away goal. It would give us hope, and we'll make sure that we give them a good game, just the way they came up here and were motivated to play. I thought some of their play in the first half was good. We made adjustments. And I think the second half was in our favor. So we'll just see how it goes down there. Lo siento.
No tenemos planeado hacer ninguna modificación en función de quién juega para su equipo o quién no juega para su equipo. Nosotros vamos a tratar de poner el mejor equipo que podemos. Ellos van a jugar con una línea de 5, van a hacer los movimientos que tienen que hacer, pero nuestro objetivo va a ser ir allá, jugar bien, tratar de anotar un gol. El gol de visita nos da una ventaja y vamos a tratar de hacer lo que hicimos acá, donde jugamos un primer tiempo que estuvo bien, hicimos correcciones en el segundo tiempo, inclusive jugamos mejor. Entonces, de esa forma vamos a tratar de mantener el equipo bien para este partido que viene.
Gracias. Okay, we'll come down here.
Hey, Brian. Tactically, what was working in the defensive third today to really limit Cruz Azul from creating any, grade A chances in front of goal? What was working there?
Well, I think the pride that Yaimar and Jackson and Nuhu have. Look, the start to our league season hasn't been great, and there's been a couple mistakes and some things, and so we watched a lot of film as a collective, and then Andy Rose, he went with the defenders and did more film work to get it, because games are so close together, we can't really train a ton on the field, but we made sure that we did our jobs to make sure that they saw some of the things that we want to improve on defensively. And those guys have a lot of pride in what they do. So I give a lot of credit to them.
All right, Felipe.
Thank you. Coach Brian, ¿usted cree que este resultado le favorece a Seattle Sounders? Una segunda pregunta es, pareciera que Cruz Azul presionó los primeros minutos y después el encuentro se niveló. En mi opinión, pareciera que Seattle Sounders le pone un poco más de sabor a este tipo de encuentros y cómo mantener ese nivel.
My first question is, do you believe this result is a good result for Sounders? And then something that I have observed is that Cruz Azul put a lot of pressure at the beginning of the game, but then it seemed like it leveled a little bit, and Sounders improved. What do you think was the reason of this?
Is it a good result? Probably not, because we would have liked to score a goal, and maybe two. But 0-0 means it's 90 minutes or 90 minutes plus overtime to find a winner of this series. I think what you saw was Cruz Azul came out and put a lot of energy into the game, and we were able to withstand some of that pressure. And towards the end of the game, I thought we were better. And I think that always is a testament to the mentality of that group of players, the mentality of this club as a whole. We never quit. There's the grit of the Northwest. Guys were running at the end of the game and running hard when maybe they, got a little tired because of the effort they put in the first half.
Si me preguntas acerca del resultado, en realidad no me parece un buen resultado para este partido, sí, porque me hubiera gustado anotar un gol o dos goles. Sin embargo, es un partido largo, 0-0 en los 90 minutos, es algo que todavía nos mantiene en juego. Cruz Azul empezó con mucha energía y nosotros tratamos de balancear esa energía, y al final del partido me parece que nosotros acabamos mejor. Y eso es por la mentalidad que tiene el equipo, una mentalidad de nunca darse por vencidos, ese espíritu que tiene el Pacific Northwest de siempre estar poniendo presión y mantenerse en el juego. O sea que de esa manera nos vamos a mantener jugando.
All right, we have time for two more. We'll go here.
So Cruz Azul is probably one of the toughest teams you've played in the past long while. Would you say that all of the 11 guys you put on the field to start, specifically Pedro and Areola in the attacking midfield and Rusnak as number 10, would you say all of those players are the absolute top of the depth chart for not only CONCACAF but also just 2025 in general?
I think that was covered in an article on a particular organization that covers us. I think I mentioned it at training the other day. We're not quite sold on a final lineup. The players I put out there today were the ones that I felt were going to give us the best chance of winning this game. Plus, we had to make some substitutions because guys are going to play against LAFC on Saturday. We have a deep squad, and you say that this team tonight was one of the best teams we've played in a long time. I would take some exception to that because I think there's a lot of MLS teams that are very, very good. And, we play against good quality opposition all the time.
All right, Jose, saw you there. Close us out, please.
Brian, with the match congestion, do you wish the league would give you guys a little bit of relief as you're presenting this type of product, not only to the country, but to the region, would you like to see a bit of a break from league play in order to allow you guys to show your best foot forward?
That's way above my pay grade. There's fixer congestion in probably every league in the world. Different competitions. We saw some good games this morning, this afternoon. I'm sure the coaches over in Europe are saying the same things. It's part of our sport. Do we wish we would play Saturday? Yes, of course. That's the easy answer. I'm not trying to avoid your question. But I think the CCC competition, us playing against Mexican teams, Guatemalan teams, Honduran teams. I like the competition. I actually enjoy Leagues Cup as well. So I can't complain too much because I enjoy the games.